I'm making these little houses out of my scrap fabric that I have. I thought they'd make a cute wall hanging. They'd make a cute quilt. They'd make a cute table runner. Anyway, this isn't an original idea. I watched a video from the Missouri Star Quilt Company where Jenny Doan showed how to make these. So I'll leave the link to that in the description box. So far I made this, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this yet. Probably quilt it and make a small, just a small wall hanging out of it. Okay, so to make the sides that go on either side of the door for the houses, we need a 2 by 3 inch. And I'll just go ahead and do a couple here. But I want to make sure I don't use up all of my fabric because I'm going to need the top part of the house. And then I'll just go ahead and stack them to the side here. The top part of the house is 4.5 by 1.5. And I've been doing most of them in the same color. You don't have to, but and there's been some pieces of fabric that I've run out, and so I just do it with a complementary fabric. This actually is wide enough, I think, to make the roof part. So not for this set because it would be too, well, that was peach. So which is 2.5 by 4.5. I'm going to do that, and then I can get 2 out of here, I think. Two sets, I mean. So cut. Two inches. So that kind of veered off there. Sometimes when you go fast, it does that. Okay, and then and then 1.5 for the top part. Just need 2 of them because we just got the 2 sets. So 4.5. So then I'll go ahead and just stack these like this. And when I go ahead and sew the sets together, I'll have all the matching pieces together. So when we go to sew it, we will sew a door will go in the middle here. So we'll sew a door onto one side and then sew the other side onto the door. And when that set's complete, then we will sew this top part of the house on top of that. And when that's done, then we will sew the roof part, which will have some white triangles on either side to define it as a roof. Then we will sew that on top of that. But I've been getting a little obsessed lately with wanting to fill the doorways with little fuzzy cut creatures or people. The dimension that I need is 1.5 by 3. So I want to make sure that when I do this, that I've got the subject in the middle. So this is the 1.5, this is the inch. There will be a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so that will put that at there. And I'm going to move it over a little bit so that the ball is also in our doorway. So that is 1.5 inches by 3. I thought it was bigger than 3, but I just had to shave a little bit off there. And so when I go ahead and sew that on, then that little girl will be in the doorway. And this one will be like photobombing her, I guess, in the background. The bigger sister telling her to get to work, I guess. I'm just sewing the pieces for the house together. So the door and one side. Finger press the seam to one side, and then I'll sew the other side onto it. So I am just going to finger press these to one side. Well, outward. The seam going out. And then with the seam going out. And then I'm going to press them with the iron. Back to the sewing machine and we'll put the tops on them. To the iron, and have a nice little decoration when you're done. I like to finger press and do half of these going down and half of them going up, so that when we join them, we can nest them. Okay. Again, press. This one's a little uneven, so we'll need to trim him up a little bit before we sew the roof on. We need 2.5-inch squares out of a white fabric. So after you sew them, you've got this, and then open that up, finger press it, and then either with your rotary blade, or I usually just use scissors, Okay, and now we're gonna take this, increase it, and we're gonna sew on the other side, like that. And when we get done, we'll have a flying geese block, or the roof to our house. So here's the finished block with the roof or the flying geese unit sewed onto the house unit. And there you have little mini houses. You can put all kinds of cute things in the doors if you want. So you can put 4 together if you want to make like a, oh, it's a little bigger than a pot holder, but it would work out nicely for putting a hot dish on a table to protect the table. Or you could use one as a mug rug or a coaster. I have in mind to make a quilt. I have a whole pile of these, and I have in my mind to make a quilt for someone for Christmas. So that will be in a future video. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, take care, and we'll see you next time.